Following the failure, North Korea is vowing to try again as soon as possible.
The US military has published a video showing a Chinese fighter jet making a, quote, unnecessarily aggressive maneuver against an American surveillance aircraft over the South China Sea a few days ago. Following developments, Andrew Wood in Hong Kong.
The video was shot from inside the American plane's cockpit. It shows what the Pentagon says is a Chinese J-16 fighter cutting across its path on Friday, coming as close as 400 feet. A few seconds later, the US RC-135 shakes violently as it flies through the turbulent wake of the Chinese warplane. The US Department of Defense says its plane was conducting safe and routine operations over the South China Sea in international airspace in accordance with international law. China claims most of the South China Sea as its own, and much of the territorial waters of countries like Vietnam and the Philippines that surround it, but no international body recognizes that claim. China has, however, built illegal military bases on reefs in the sea.
Elon Musk is in China as he makes his first trip to the world's second largest economy in more than 3 years. The Tesla chief executive is visiting the company's huge manufacturing plant in Shanghai. China is Tesla's biggest market after the US. And Novak Djokovic has come under fire from France's sports minister for what she calls his inappropriate political message at the French Open tournament. Amid recent violence in the region, the Serb tennis player wrote Kosovo is the heart of Serbia on a camera lens. Kosovo declared independence from Serbia in 2008, but it's never been recognised by Djokovic's country. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7 getting started on a Thursday with the one and only Chuck Ritchie. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here.
All right.
Trying to learn this stuff.
I think we finally got all the buttons pushed right. But if you are listening on Facebook, I'll apologize in advance because I guess we found out yesterday we got some kind of glitch and it echoes when someone's coming in through Zoom. So we will apologize for that. But you know the show must be going on,
right?
And you got a guest scheduled for today, don't you?
That's right. That's right. We have Brad Schaffer from the Friday Market coming in to talk to us.
That's exciting. We can find out about everything new as they get started up this year. So excited to have Brad on the air again. He's visited a few times and he's very entertaining as well.
And a great guy. And
I'm a great guy.
I'm a sucker for farmers markets everywhere. If I'm traveling and I see a farmers market, I will stop. My whole life. I love them.
Right.
I can't get enough.
You were kind of setting yourself up there, but I'll leave it alone. All right. Weather for today. You guys are so lucky. 76, nice day, mild temperatures, today. Sunshine. 48 for an overnight low with a few passing clouds. I'm really jealous. So we're hitting 93 today, which is a weird temperature for Maine anyways. Ooh. But 93, and then tomorrow it drops to 71, and then we go back into the 50s. I'm like, come on, really?
Like highs in the 50s?
Yeah, like 59, 58. I saw 57 in there. A 61. Whoop whoop. Yeah, not good at all.
I'm not gonna lie and say I wouldn't like that.
Well, for a day, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Friday for you, 80 and 50 under mostly sunny skies. Sunshine staying with you. Saturday, 84. Sunday, 88. Monday, 87. Midweek next week, I see a 92. All right. Ooh. Another warm week coming your way next week. Looking at the long range forecast, it shows you getting back to more seasonal temperatures the following weekend around 79, 80 degrees. So
I think that 70 degrees, partly cloudy is perfect. I would like to live somewhere where it's that way year round.
San Francisco.
There you go.
All right, we're kind of late, but I'll go ahead and roll out what the kids get for breakfast today. It's the breakfast steak, cereal, fresh fruit, fruit juice, and your choice of milk. And then for lunch today, teriyaki dippers,
Ooh.
mashed potatoes, green beans, fresh veggies, fresh fruit, and a milk choice. Used to make jokes about, man, I wish they'd put some of that breakfast in the mailbox. And one day there was some breakfast in the mailbox.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday there were the cheese zombies, and I had to look that up. Apparently, that's like a bun stuffed with cheese and then cooked. That actually sounded really good.
That sounds like something I could cook.
I found a restaurant that did them online, and they had like the yeast rolls, you know, that were all light and fluffy, full of cheese, and amazing. I want one.
And you never got subjected to my pizza rice, did you? Rice is better than most carbs, so on a diet plan, I got tired of not being able to eat pizza, and I invented pizza rice.
Oh, wow.
And is it good? No answer.
No
Okay.
answer. I like a good
It's not
cauliflower crust.
Oh.
Yeah, cauliflower.
that's-
And you can't. Most of the time you can't even tell. If it's a good one, you can't tell. They're not all
Okay.
good.
Well, apparently I haven't had a good one yet then.
Yeah, some of them are really good.
Because I can tell every time. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, well.
All right. Didn't write any jokes this morning, but I do have what Scott thinks about in the shower.
You know, that's on my mind all day. I wonder. What is Scott thinking about in the shower right now?
A pizza that's missing one slice is now a Pac-Man.
That's true.
Came up with that one. All mirrors are technically used when you buy them.
Okay. Yeah.
Courtesy laugh. Chuck, your age is just a number of times you've orbited the sun.
Exactly.
We call it falling asleep even though we're usually lying down. It doesn't make sense at all.
I think
Those
I've
things
done it.
Stick with me.
I think I've done it standing up and then ended up on the ground once or
Ooh.
twice in my life. Yeah.
All right. I used to spend so much time on the computer. Sometime I'd nod off actually while I was working. I thought I might have narcolepsy.
Boom. Right into the keyboard.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Do the head bob thing while you're working on the computer. That's kind of scary.
I do that in bed with like my phone over the top of my face and fall asleep, and the face hits you in the phone hits you in the face. You ever done that?
No.
I do that all. That's why I had to
That's
put a
just-
ring on the back of my phone that my finger goes in, so I don't do that.
Just you, Chuck.
Yeah,
Just you. All right. The only time the word incorrectly is spelled correctly is when it's spelled incorrectly. I know it's kind of deep.
That's
this
deep,
morning.
man. Woo.
All right. My last one. I really like this one. People say break a leg to actors for good luck, but no one says break a finger to musicians.
I heard the reason for that not too long ago, but I can't for the life of me. I can't remember why.
Why someone would say break a leg?
Yeah, there's a reason
Seems
for it.
horrible.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh.
right.
Because if you're going to audition, they hope you get cast in the play. So break a leg. Hope you get cast.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
More
Dark.
news soon.
Tune in again tomorrow as we hear the Baroness Rothschild say,
Barry, guess how much change I've got in my nose?
250.
That's good, Chuck. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at that community calendar. I don't know if you have your one handy, if you want it from the Arts Guild. I know we're trying to like do some calendar combinations. Big reminder for tonight, of course, first Thursday Art Walk.
It is.
Happening on the streets of Chihuahua. You got an ad in the paper that tells you all the different locations. And of course, this starts off with the Trails End Gallery. Mr. Tim Nelson, who started this first Thursday Art Walk, participated last month. The radio station did.
We
You
did.
might have seen me out on the streets in a Star Wars outfit. It was really awesome that I got to visit for that first Thursday Art Walk.
Especially
You're
May
doing
the
it again,
4th.
Chuck, tonight. What are you doing?
We are doing a children's book open mic karaoke poetry slam. It's a mouthful. We're gonna have a stack of children's books. This is not just for kids. This is for all ages. You come in and pick a short story or pick a piece within a story, and read it in your best poetry slam style. You can be funny. You can make fun of it. You can make fun of poetry slams. You can be as intense as you want. In fact, the more intense you are, the funnier it is.
So kind of like I do not like green eggs and ham, Sam. I am.
Exactly.
Okay.
Get into
All right.
it. Get into it.
All
There's
right. All right.
Yeah.
You got any prizes set up for that?
We don't know. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes,
you
we
do?
do.
What-
You know what we
what
do?
is that?
We have clear, light up KCHW mugs.
That's what I was going to tell you. Dig out some mugs, Jeff.
Yes, we do.
They do. You pull the little tab on the bottom, and then you can save it and put it back in to save the batteries. But yeah, they light up your cocktail or your soda or whatever you have.
Mountain Dew, I would imagine, would probably be really, really something to see.
Because it's cloudy anyways.
It already glows in the dark. Glows in the dark. Glows in the dark. Dork.
Sorry,
I'm a dork.
Mountain Dew looks like something scooped out of a toilet.
It kind of tastes like it, too.
It's a double shot.
Not a fan.
All right, there you go. Sorry,
I love you,
Mountain
Mountain
Dew. And then, of course, on Friday on my community calendar, we have the farmers market.
Mm-hmm.
That runs from 11 to 3:30, and as we mentioned, coming up at 8 o'clock, he's going to be invading the studio, Mr. Brad Schaffer. So stick around as we have some fun with Brad, find out what's happening at the market. Usually, I don't on the community calendar. It's for nonprofit and government agencies, but I saw commercial businesses can post on the chamber calendar as well, so it's a great place to check out. And I was really surprised to see on there on Saturday that it's Fired Up Pizza's 5th year anniversary already, and
Wow.
Dave and Ray are playing between 6 and 9. And Dave and Ray have been such great supporters of the radio station, and I just I can't believe that Fired Up Pizza's 5 in Chewila already.
That is bizarre. Wow. I thought it opened up right before COVID, but I guess my pre-COVID brain is not the database has been wiped.
The database has been wiped.
There was no pre-COVID. It's all an illusion.
Chuck, have I missed any? I should mention that the first Thursday Art Walk is your another chance for you to, if you didn't do it last first Thursday, to catch up with all the art from the women painters of Washington at the Trails End Gallery. Very cool. I see, Chuck, you pulled something out. Add up. Who else is out and about tonight? I think
we have
Nancy Bloom at the.
Yep. Nancy Bloom at the Yale Press, Susan Hedstrand at the Flowery Trail Cafe. This is the Karen Vocati Memorial Show at the McCoon Gallery at the Mountain Market. John Peterson will be at the Westhoff Excavation. And then at the Aaron Huff Memorial Center will be the Spotlight Gallery from the Creative District. And that's actually pretty cool. There was we got a grant from Renew Washington to do art classes at the school with our creative members. We have Kat Brooks, Leslie Lambert, and Jamie Thompson all taught different art styles, and the kids that did the art will be featured at the art walk at the Aaron Huff Memorial Center. Cool. Aaron Huff Memorial Cultural Center.
All right. Let's see what else I got here. Some that came into the radio station, the Springdale Frontier Days. Open rodeo. Tickets are available at frontierdayrodeos.com. Great way to get out and support the community of Springdale and have some fun. It's happening on the 10th of June, 7 p.m. and then the 11th. That'd be Saturday afternoon at 2. So you got 2 chances to catch the radio there.
Okay.
Deborah sent in some as well, and we've got a family yard sale, kind of like a parking lot sale going on at the Abundant Life Fellowship Church in their parking lot on the corner of 2nd and Webster. They're calling it a parking lot sale, but their note was, we're not actually selling the parking lot. So she expected that would throw me up. Let's see if I can find it. That is also on the 10th from 9 until 3. A free community dinner being put on by the Chewila Faith Resource Group. This one is a summer community meal in the form of a barbecue of hamburgers and hot dogs. It's Thursday, June 15th at 5 p.m. Everyone is invited, and that will be taking place at St. Mary's. And then don't forget, if you need some assistance with summer summer food for your kids. The Tasty program is getting fired up to go. There is a fundraiser and silent auction scheduled for June 22nd at Quartzsite Brewery. I do not have a time on that. Distributions will begin, though, on June 19th. And I'm going to pull up this ad because at several locations you can get your application from, and that's Guest Elementary, Chewelah Food Bank, Valley Schools, Valley Food Bank, Summit Valley School, and the Addie Food Bank. They all have applications for the Tasty program.
And we will
this
have
year's
Suzanne.
goal is to serve 175 kids. What, Chuck?
I was going to say we will have Suzanne Group, who's organizing that, on the show before that event happens.
Cool.
She wasn't
cool.
able to
So
make
we'll
it
get some more
today,
details
but
from
she
her.
does want to be on the show to talk about that. It's a great program.
All right. Excellent.
Oh, and can we back up to June 9th is the dessert. Sorry, I got a note over the thing here. It's the dessert soiree and silent auction on June 9th. That is to benefit the Ludwig family. Gino's been in the hospital for a while, and their bills are racking up like crazy.
All right. Don't forget there's a GoFundMe out there, too, if you'd like to help out Sharon and Gino. So there you go.
Worthy cause.
Worthy causes. We love that. All right. Moving along this morning, we got a few minutes until Brad joins us, unless he stepped into the studios. And then we're going to go to break and let Chuck get cameras all set up and that kind of stuff. Let's see. News headlines, trove of photos from Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, the right's going to be loving this one today. Made available now to the public. Over 10,000 photos launched on a new website today called BidenLaptopMedia.com. They say it's taken them a couple of months to go through the photos, about 10,000 of them. They redacted all the nudity, though. So if you're thinking you're going to go check out those pictures of Hunter and some of his friends, they did take those out. There are some dumb photos of him doing drugs, but it appears that's about it. They said some of it will put the Bidens in a bad light, and some will actually put them, and this is talking about the whole family, in a good light. How would you like it if 10,000 of your family photos were basically stolen and put out to the public without your permission?
That would be horrible. I mean, I would be hard pressed to find people that don't have photos of them somewhere out there that they would not like everyone to see. You know,
that's right.
On various levels of transgressions or whatever. I mean, if my father-in-law is listening, don't look at that box in your garage.
Running around the beach in a Speedo. No one wants to see that.
Right.
And I don't want anybody to see it.
Right. Why would you ever be on a beach in a Speedo, Scott? That's the question.
Marion told me to.
Oh, okay. Well,
it was a dare.
In that case.
They did redact images that contain Social Security numbers, banking information, and credit card numbers, and it says multiple nude photos of Haley Biden, the widow of Beau Biden. All right. Yeah, that's and there's no, I guess, the drug use. Can someone take a picture of someone doing drugs from years ago and have them arrested because they were doing drugs? I don't think so. So really, all these photos, they say they're not a right-wing group that's out to hurt the Bidens, but what could possibly, since there's no crimes in these photos, what is the purpose other than embarrassment? And why can't he sue? Because that laptop was basically, what do you call it, like a mechanic's lien. They never came back to get it. Right. And after a certain amount of time, the repair place, whatever it is, car repairs, it doesn't matter, they get to keep it because you never came back to get it or pay your bill. So it's like a mechanic's lien. So because it just, none of it seems, if there was something behind it, I guess I'd be okay with it.
Why would Hunter Biden have nude photos of his deceased brother's wife on his laptop? That's the part that disturbs me through all this.
One more. How embarrassing for them too.
Right. Yeah, I don't get it.
Next family reunion gonna be a blast. All don't even want to see that. All right, moving along this morning, following a CNN report about an audio recording, a new one that suggests former President Donald Trump knowingly took classified documents. Legal experts are saying it could be the damning evidence needed to charge him actually now under the Espionage Act. They reported yesterday several sources told the outlet about a recording obtained by federal prosecutors in which Trump acknowledged he had taken a classified document that detailed a potential attack on Iran. The recording included Trump saying he wasn't sure he was able to declassify records after leaving the presidency. According to two different sources, one from the New York Times and one from CBS News. Both those agencies also confirmed the existence of the recording.
Well, you know what you are after you leave the presidency. No longer the president. You don't have the authority.
Authority to declassify anything.
That is not your job anymore. You can't do that.
All right, another one. Bill Gates really regretting his decision to associate with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein because the story just won't go away. His dealings with the late pedophile was not only one of the reasons for the end of his marriage to Melinda French Gates, but also raised eyebrows about why he kept going back to Epstein even though he had reservations about him. Now, new documents from Epstein's estate have been handed over to government officials in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where two private islands were located. Bill is sweating a bit, they say. Just like Prince Andrew, Epstein was using Bill's clout to try and sway J.P. Morgan to start a fund where wealthy investors put in at least $100 million each. This in addition to news that Epstein knew about Bill Gates' affair with a Russian bridge player named Mila Anatova, and that he was threatening to reveal the Microsoft founder's dirty little secret if he didn't play along and kick in the $100 million. Whoa! All right.
Those kids.
Hats off to Newsmax yesterday. I know a lot of people have been converting from Fox to Newsmax, but Newsmax was way off in its coverage of the drone strike in Moscow. They by about 5,000 miles on Tuesday, the far-right channel was displaying images of the apartment complex in Iowa, Davenport, Iowa, that collapsed. They were showing that and saying it was attacks of drones on the Russian capital city.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
One clue for viewers that are maybe a little more savvy, something was amiss, as you could see an English tollway zone in one of the photos.
What is it their viewers say? What is it? Oh, yeah, fake news.
Fake news. No, Russians actually have all their tow signs in English.
Of course.
Of course they do.
It's a multicultural country.
And stupid is as stupid does. Man pleaded guilty to disturbing a baby bison at Yellowstone National Park. The incident actually ended with the calf having to be euthanized. Clifford Walters, a Hawaii resident, pleaded guilty Wednesday to one count of feeding, touching, teasing, frightening, or intentionally disturbing wildlife.
Oh.
The National Park Service, I think that should be like a crime for humans. Feeding, touching, teasing, frightening, or intentionally disturbing others. All right. National Park Service said to press release Waters must pay a $500 fine along with a $500 community service payments to Yellowstone Forever Wildlife Protection Fund, $30 special assessment, and a $10 processing fee. Well, park officials said there was no indication that Walters acted maliciously, and that his actions led to the baby bison's death. The bison had been separated from its mother when the herd crossed the Lamar River. Walters approached the newborn calf on May 20th after he spotted it struggling and pushed the calf from the river onto the roadway. So he was actually trying to help the little critter, but they don't want you to do that.
Don't touch him.
On the roadway, calf approached people and cars. Park rangers repeatedly tried to reunite the baby with the herd, but they were unsuccessful. Officials then decided to euthanize the baby bison because it has been abandoned and was causing a hazardous situation. Yellowstone been taking a lot of heat. They've been killing a lot of animals. And I don't buy their excuses that they make for it. They said, we made the clear choice. We did not do it because we're lazy, uncaring, or inexpert in our understanding of bison biology. Now, this is the Park Service quote. We made the choice we did because national parks preserve natural processes. Many have questioned why Yellowstone did not care for the baby bison or send it to a sanctuary. Park explained that under both federal and state regulations, bisons cannot be transported out of Yellowstone unless they're going to meat processing or scientific research. That's stupid.
Wow. It sounds like those regulations need to be changed. Right?
Sell it to a bison farmer. I don't care. It was
Right.
just kind of weird that we have to put it down. We can't send it to a sanctuary. And I'm sure someplace someone would have taken a baby bison. So, but there's been a lot of that going on. If you want to get stirred up about something, there you go.
There was years ago. There was a viral video of a woman putting one in the back of her car, and a friend of mine actually captured the video that went viral. So
just earlier this week in Yellowstone, a man was taunting a full-size bison and got gored to death.
wow.
Probably not your best idea of the day.
I lived in Tennessee for a while near Pigeon Forge, which is a popular sort of loop. It's a sort of a rustic sort of community. What do you call it? Like a primitive sort of community that's still maintained that you can tour. And every year
they're going to do that with Chihuahua,
right? But there's bears there, and every time you go there, there's like 100 cars lined up with people out of their cars taking pictures of the bears. And inevitably, what happens at least once every couple of years, somebody gets mauled by a bear. Because they're out there chasing them through the field, taking pictures of a mama and her baby. Leave them alone.
Who won that game? The bears.
Every time. And then, of course, you know what they have to do? Euthanize the bear.
They have to do what?
They have to euthanize the bear every time.
Oh,
yeah. So leave them alone.
All right. There you go. That's all we got for news headlines. As Brad entered the studio, I see you waving.
Brad's been back there waiting very patiently for quite some time.
Very patiently for me to shut up.
Me too.
All right, we're going to go to break. It's Northern Lights Public Radio. Thanks to sponsors. I'll leave you a little news and come back with Mr. Brad Schaffer, but you have to stay right here. KCHW 102.7.
Oh, is that what you want? Yep. Because that's how you get ants.
Shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
All right, I'm unmuted. I'm safe, right?
Yes, but whatever we say does go out over Facebook. So you want me to adjust the Manicam for you?
Yeah, sure.
And, okay, and you'll just have to, I'm going to put up another window and you'll have to put that on our buddy there, Brad Schaffer. And then go ahead and unsolo and unmute everything so the people on Facebook and YouTube get the news too.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm turning my mic down.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast, May the 31st, 2023. I'm Mike Clifford. First to North Dakota, where human rights voices are calling attention to laws deemed hostile to LGBTQ individuals. They say it's part of a movement led by national groups and that it doesn't align with how the state governs itself.
The recent legislative session saw North Dakota and its GOP-led legislature take a big leap into so-called culture wars by passing laws such as one that bans gender-affirming care for transgender youth. Jeff Witrowski of the Human Rights Campaign says in the U.S. there's been nearly 1,700 of these types of bills in the past decade. He says organizations such as the Family Policy Alliance are working hard to get them passed in conservative state houses.
These organizations have a worldview that just does not comport with a pluralistic society where LGBTQ people are allowed to live freely.
In 2021, a trio of these groups joined forces to fund policy efforts, citing the need to protect children's bodies and minds. Witrowski says they often have template legislation for lawmakers to use while pledging to help pay for legal costs if a state ends up facing a legal challenge. I'm Mike Moen reporting.
Groups including the Family Policy Alliance could not be reached for comment. Now from the Independent, 5 tenants of the Iowa apartment building that collapsed Sunday are still unaccounted for. That from city officials at a press conference on Tuesday afternoon. The Independent reports more than 36 hours after the rear section of a 6-story apartment complex collapsed, Davenport Mayor Mike Mattson revealed local police have been unable to locate the 5 residents. Meantime, parents in New York and across the U.S. want to see schools improve kids' mental health, that according to a recent survey.
The National PTA survey finds 72% of parents support schools providing mental health services for students. New York's recently passed 2024 budget allocates $50 million to expand mental health services for school-aged children and to fund school-based mental health services. At a National PTA town hall, Dr. Kathleen Ethier with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said communication between schools and families is key to improving youth mental health.
Parents can really increase schools' understanding of challenges facing students, identify potential gaps in support, act as champions as needed for school-based services and supports. But that's really why it's so important to strengthen those positive relationships.
She says this broadens the community of support for students, which can't come soon enough for New York. The CDC's 2023 Youth Risk Behavior Survey finds poor mental health and suicidality in students increased between 2011 and 2021. I'm Edwin J. Vieira.
This is Public News Service. Now to Tennessee, where the rapidly growing Hispanic population made remarkable strides in college enrollment and educational attainment. That's according to a recent analysis by the U.S. Census Bureau.
The number of Hispanics ages 18 to 24 enrolled in college increased to 2.4 million in 2021. Emily Labandera with Excelencia in Education says its mission is to accelerate Latino student success in higher education. This came about from its knowledge of the community and the data that's tracked with the census report that the Latino community has been growing for decades in the nation.
The future of our country for an improved workforce, civic leadership, the economy, and really looking ahead to the future, this is an important community and group to pay attention to because of those key statistics and population demographics.
For Public News Service, I'm Danielle Smith.
As Women's Health Month comes to an end, an expert is emphasizing the need for increased health care and screenings for women throughout the year, starting with early adulthood in North Carolina.
Dr. Donna O'Shea with United Healthcare stresses the importance of cultivating healthy habits in teenage girls, including proper nutrition, exercise, sleep, and mental health care. These are formative years during which mental health care is particularly crucial, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic.
We found that 57% of high school girls have experienced persistent feelings of sadness in the last year. And if we just look back about 10 years ago, that number was only 36%.
Shantia Hudson reporting.
Finally, Alex Gonzalez lets us know that Nevadans will have the opportunity to learn more and weigh in on a proposed public lands rule that shifts the Bureau of Land Management's focus to prioritize wildlife conservation and protecting cultural resources.
Tomorrow, the BLM invites the public to an in-person meeting in Reno to better understand the proposal. Executive Director for the Nevada Wildlife Federation, Russell Coleman, says the measure would help the agency put conservation efforts on par and act as a balance with recreational and commercial uses of public lands such as grazing, energy development, and camping.
The land is not built for continuous extraction without some conservation in order to make it sustainable. And what this conservation ruling does is hopefully take a big step in that direction.
Coleman recognizes the BLM is getting pulled in a lot of different directions because of the scope of work they're required to do.
According to the agency, about 1.3 million acres of sagebrush are degraded annually. This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Here are some radio stations, big and small, your favorite podcast platform. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
It's 8:13.
Your KCHW morning show is made possible by donations from Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products, including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at ChihuahuaFlooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at ChihuahuaFlooring@gmail.com.
Your KCHW morning show made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
This is KCHW, Chewelah, 102.7 FM.
And we're back. It's KCHW 102.7. Thanks for being here this morning on the radio and online, Facebook and YouTube. I heard we have a little echo. We apologize for that, but you can tune into 102.7 as well. Looking at 8:15 right now, and our guest in the studio today, the one, the only returning Mr. Brad Schaffer.
Thank you, Scott. Can you all hear me? Good.
Yes.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Chuck. And
morning.
Good morning, Chewelah.
Yeah.
It's always happy to be back in here. It doesn't quite feel like home, but it feels like a place I've been to several times. So I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you having the farmers market on and all the support you've given us over the years and what you do for the Chewelah community in general.
Well, you know, before you arrived years and years ago, let's go back about 12 years. Maybe even 13. We were starting up the radio station. We weren't on the air or anything. And the farmers market had just been around for a few years too, I believe. And they let us come down and solicit donations and hang out in a booth and just tell people about what we were trying to get started in the community. And I think that was an instrumental part of us getting off the ground and actually getting a radio station. Was Chewelah was help from community celebrations at the time, and big help from the farmers market letting us get out in front of people. So you supported public radio too, and that's awesome.
Yeah. I did not realize, I didn't know that history, and certainly you're more than welcome to come down to the farmers market anytime you want. And to our listening audience, the hundreds and thousands out there who are tuning in this morning for the morning show, feel free to come on down to the market. You want information about KCHW and Northern Lights Radio, we'll be happy to provide that to you, and you can sign up to become a member.
Fantastic.
Right.
Wow.
Nice.
We'll get you the information.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do me a favor, Chuck, and adjust his camera. He's offside, and it's just really bothering me this morning when I look up.
Let's see if I can adjust his and not mine.
There we go. Look at that. There you go.
Hey.
All right. Hey. All professional now. So, Brad, a new season for the farmers market got to be exciting. How many weeks have you been going so far?
We got 3 markets under our belt and
Nice.
20 to go, but who's counting? So we go through October, lucky Friday, the 13th in October, right before Halloween. So, but you got plenty of time to come down and visit us, and it has been an exciting season so far. I know Chuck's been plugging us a bit and talking about it, but I think he has, he's a busy man and has a hard time getting down there. I think he's been down there at least once or twice this year.
Yeah.
But it's been an exciting season, as you know. As most folks know, been attending the market. We've had exponential growth year after year, market after market, and this year is no different. I kind of have that same refrain every time I get on the radio, but this year it's last year I think we started with about 20 vendors. We had 34 our first market, and we've been floating right around 30 to 34 vendors so far every market with a great lineup of products, and if you don't mind, I'll just plunge right into it.
Please do.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So we lost Fire Dancer Farm this year, but we gained quite a few other farms, and we have Berry Basics Farm, specializing in berries, flowers, and veggies. They're back this year. Blue Ridge Farm is a new farm for us. I'll call them a cute couple. They have an active YouTube station where you can tune in and see some of their farming techniques. They've been offering a lot of great plant starts, which all the farmers there's lots of plant starts. So if folks out there, if you're just getting your garden in, or if your tomatoes are looking a little peaked, well then come on down, because we got plenty of great looking plants down there. Burnt Valley Farm, specializing in meats. Most folks know that farm. They also have eggs. A new one this year, Chateau Bellevaux Farm and Flour. And so far, Abigail's getting the gold star for one of the best booths. She's really done a lot of flair into her booth and has some amazing looking vegetables. Clover Mountain Dairy, our organic dairy, they're back this year. They are not doing liquid milk this year. They're doing cheese and having great success with that. They have all sorts of Goudas and
that's Gouda.
and pepper jack and it's because the next farm on the list here, Columbia Community Creamery. So the creamery, and I think Chuck's maybe talked about that. Maybe you have, Scott, where Chewelah is pretty excited about getting our own creamery in town, where the old Sticks and Spokes used to be. We have a processing plant there, and then there's a retail outlet right next to it, and that is where all the liquid milk this year is going to come from.
Oh my gosh, I'm a dairy freak. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's been probably about 100 years, at least 80, since Chewella's had a creamery. I actually have a coin from the original Chewelah Creamery.
Wow.
Oh man, I'd like to see that, or at least shoot a picture to us. I'd like to see that, because we knew there were a couple of creameries in town at one point. And I think you've heard these facts before, where up and down the valley in the early 60s there were over 300 dairies, and we're down to about 8 or 9 dairies now. And so this creamery is specifically designed for small local dairy farms and processing their liquid milk into all sorts of delicious things. We're eventually going to have ice cream. We won't have it right at the open. I keep saying we, because I'm on the board of that. It's a nonprofit, and I've been involved in getting that up off the ground.
Ice cream was going to be my question.
Yes, and that's
Where's
going
the
to
ice
be
cream?
You gotta wait. I'm learning so much about the dairy world, and you gotta wait until the butter fat of the milk is up enough where we have a cream separator, and so we will be selling not only ice cream but also cream, but you got to wait until that butter fat is up where you can skim off and separate that cream out to make other products with it.
I'm lactose intolerant, but for some reason I can handle cream, but not regular milk. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. And that's another thing I'm learning about. There's a wide variety of milk as far as grade A's, grade B's.
Right.
Of course, the creamery will only be grade A. But as far as what the cow is eating, and whether it's homogenized, the creamery milk is not homogenized, which really tears up the enzymes and things in the milk. So you will have that, a little bit of butter fat separation when you buy a half gallon from the creamery.
Strangely enough, my nickname. Sorry.
Your nickname's Creamery or Butterfat?
Butterfat.
Nice. You're kind of smooth jazz. So, and then Front Porch Farm, of course, they're kind of an anchor tenant and always have been at the market. A lot of these folks you hear the names of, they've been at the market ever since its inception back in 2008. Humble Jumble is back this year with a lot of great plant starts. And then we have River's Edge Ranch. Excited to get them in. I've been kind of cultivating them for a couple of years. They have grass-fed beef, lamb, goat, and more types, and then your standard, I think, beef and pork. But they specialize in their goats and sheep, so lots of wool, hides, and tallow products, seasonal fruit and produce. We have the Preserve at Dry Creek, otherwise known as our Mushroom Man, Larry Bray.
I like wearing my mushroom shirt, and then he always points and waves and laughs at me.
Yeah.
Because one time we had the same shirt on. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he collects a lot of that.
He wasn't pointing and waving because of the shirt and laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, he was laughing at me, not with me.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
And then through the Woods Farm, Monica's got dried medicinal herbs, some lotions, balms, salves. TK Gardens is back. TK came in with some meat this year, so you can pick up some of their meats along with their produce. They've got some eggs this year and other crafts. And let's see. Oh, Inland Empire Beef. Bo, he specialized just in beef, and he's got some bit of jerky this year. And then there's Meadowlark Farm that's been around for the last 3 markets. John from up in Colville, and he just had thousands of veggie plant starts. Unsure if he's going to be back again, but we have plenty of other folks who have lots of plant starts there at the market. So if you need to get that garden going, come on down. And you can, as you heard, we have lots of farmers down there. It's amazing that they get produce this year. I mean, my Swiss chard's about 2 inches tall. Obviously the tomatoes aren't doing anything yet, and I don't know how these farmers manage to get some good-looking produce in.
My garden is just weeds right now.
Yeah.
Like they're about knee height currently.
Come on down, get some plant starts.
Wild mustard. Wild mustard is what's taken over my garden.
Yeah, well, my rocket arugula, I planted it a few years ago, and I haven't planted it since, and it's actually growing in the aisleways between the planter boxes. It grows like crazy. I had a big arugula salad last night, so very delicious.
You know what I've discovered? So I like a good salad, trying to eat healthy. It just occurred to me the other day that romaine lettuce, why do we chop it up and put it and do all that work? It already comes with its own handle. Just dip it in the dressing.
That's true.
See?
That's true. And speaking of romaine,
you can't see Scott's face, but he's like, "What in the world?"
Sounds disgusting. I started farming this year myself out here in Maine, and I have a beautiful, beautiful field that is absolutely full of dandelions.
Oh, nice. You can make wine with dandelions. Yeah.
And you can make
it does look like I'm farming dandelions. I'm just saying.
Nice, but you seriously do have a farming up there? I mean,
no, I don't. I was lying.
Oh,
sorry. You know what I would love to see? I know around here tulips grow great. I would love to see like an actual full-on tulip farm and come in the spring and have a field full of tulips like in Holland. That would be beautiful.
The irises, I noticed the irises. This is the time of year for them too. Those, they're just gorgeous.
My peonies right now are blooming like crazy. They're huge. Yeah,
nice.
They look really good.
Yeah.
Is that a dog or a flower?
It's a flower. It's a flower. They're this great, big, massive, like maroon, reddish bloom, and they're amazing. They're huge.
Yeah. Which
peonies was a dog.
That's Pekingese.
Oh, well, thank you. I knew I was close.
That's what the bigger dogs
like
do.
That you said, Brad, that I thought was super cool is that one of the farmers had their own podcast. I think that's so cool. We've got like a new generation of farmers, and I'm going to call them kids, like the kids running the Front Porch Farm. We had them a few years ago. I think it was before COVID on the radio, and he was talking about the whole group that he's part of online that share new farming techniques, and I just love this like digital age farmers. I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
I love those guys. The Front Porch guys. They always have this great big smile. They're always friendly. They're warm. I like them.
Yeah,
they're fun.
They are. Yeah, they're a solid operation. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a family compound up there, and lots of acreage. And I know they planted quite a bit of corn this year, so we can expect corn later on.
Cool.
And, the stone fruits will be coming in about a month and a half now, and we'll have the cherry splat thing coming up on the 4th of July. So. Yeah, a lot of exciting things coming up this season. Our annual events and it as far as the produce comes in, it's kind of that bell curve of produce, and by within a month now, things will be just flying around there. It's such a wonderland. I don't buy any veggies between about April and October. or actually November, because I just eat from the farmers market, and it's the best way to go.
Very
I
nice.
bought a juicer this year because, if anything, the problem is I get too much of it, and I'm tired of feeding the deer, so I figure you miss the fiber, but juicing's a great way to get those micronutrients, and so I anticipate I'll be doing a lot of juicing this year.
I tend to not buy enough vegetables from April to April.
Yeah.
You covered a lot of the farms and stuff. Do you? What are some of do you have some unique booths there that's selling their wares and that type of stuff, handmade things?
Scott, I'm glad you asked that question.
Thank you.
First, I'd like to hit our food vendors, which we've got a great lineup this year. The Ark is back with their not only vegetarian but vegan food, and they have some amazing things. You talked about the big leaf of romaine, just dipping into ranch. They serve it's like their dish platter for some of their food is just a big leaf of romaine, and so you can eat through the food. Then just grab that big leaf and just chow that down.
They have that the mock smoked salmon spread.
Yes.
That I swear it's made out of carrots, and I swear you can't tell it's not smoked salmon.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It's so good.
they like Front Porch. They have quite the compound up Cottonwood Creek, and a real solid mission as far as developing other farmers and learning farming techniques. So they grow a lot of stuff up there. And then they incorporate that into their food. Obviously, the toasted coconut and limes and things aren't coming from this area, but they source, and with all our food vendors, they try to source as locally as possible, including Conscious Crave, that's back this year with they're probably best known for their pizzas, but they also have great calzones that I've sampled and panini sandwiches and a lineup of great drinks. And speaking of drinks, we have Treat Yourself Right, which is a new booth for us this year, kind of a breakaway from Good Life Cafe, which I guess that's one of the negatives this year is we don't have the buffalo burgers there. But part of the Good Life crew has set up a smoothie booth, and they're doing very well with amazing, fresh, delicious smoothies of any type and size that you want. So it's become a bit of a destination over the lunch hour. We have a lot of people that pile in and grab lunch, check out the market, and then take off, head back to work or head back to the hospital. I always like seeing all the St. Joe's folks down walking around their scrubs over the lunch hour. And then crafters. We've got Crazy Daisy's back. We have the Little Lavender Farm is back. Of course, and then on the food side, of course, Bread Box is back. We've got Sabunit, who does the soap and bath bombs, candles. We've got a new, Chester's Birdhouses. We're still going to have those birdhouses. Christina's Creations with her rosaries. We're super happy to host as often as possible the Colville Animal Sanctuary. Janet and her team are down there at least once a month, if not twice, and usually bring down, depending on the heat and smoke and everything, they bring some animals down for immediate adoption right there. So if you're looking for a cat or dog or any kind of animal, well, I don't know, maybe not crocodiles and things, but they've got a great operation they run. It's a sanctuary, so a shelter, and it's always best, I think, to pick up your animals from a shelter rather than going somewhere else. And then we have Simply Hooked, which more fabric goods, sewn goods, quilts, baby blankets. They join Ina Helly and Stitch by Stitch, who's been there for a couple years, and both are very quality. We're happy to get Stephen back with Sharpzite. He dropped in for a few markets last year, but he's going to be there pretty much every market this year, where if you've got a dull knife around, he is a professional knife sharpener. And bring your knives down, as many as you want, and he'll sharpen them up right on the spot and get them back to you. Our ceramic artist, Red Burnell, Spirit of the Clay, she is back with a lot of not only mostly practical ceramics, but also has, if you've never seen the the more artistic side of her. She's shown at Trails and Gallery before. She's got some pretty amazing stuff out there. That technique where you it's not done in a kiln but baked in a fire. And raku.
Yeah.
She uses all sorts of horsehairs and ferns and creates these amazing designs.
She's also one of the newest board members of the Creative District.
Aha!
Yep.
Way to go, Red. And, Waterfall Red's Emporium, Bob and his hand-carved spoons made out of all sorts of different types of woods. Wee Bit of Leather is back this year. They were there for a couple of markets last year. Lynn is back just doing a single booth this year, and has some of the hand-tooled leather items and wallets, purses, things like that. And, I know I missed someone, but one last plug for Wild Rose Acres and Helene, who has handmade wearables, and it's mostly crochet from original designs. She also does a lot of stuff on YouTube. I've been down to her place and watched her film some of her YouTube, and she gets a lot of crocheters out there tuning in for Helene. But wide variety. I think I've hit just about on all 30 or so of our vendors.
Wow,
that's
Brad, that is the longest list I have ever heard of vendors. It's gone beyond a farmer's market. It's like the Earth Mall every Friday, every Friday in the park. I mean, that's huge. 30 list of 30 vendors. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
For Eastern Washington and for a rural community of 2,000 like Chewelah, that is doing really well, and it attests to the quality and just the feeling, because the market, as the manager, I like just to promote a feeling of joy, love, and happiness for whatever hour you can spare to come down and walk through the beauty of our amazing city park here in Chewelah. And we've reached out regionally, marketing wise, and it's become a little bit of a destination. There's folks that come in that tell me that they built a trip around a visit to the Chewelah Farmers Market, and then they bounce over. They hit some of our retail in Chewelah. They go up and hike some of our trails and visit our lakes, and it's a great anchor for this area to help draw people in.
Well, I think the love put into the market shows through. I think you can feel that. I think every year I go to the market for the first time, the first words out of my mouth are always, "Wow, it's so much bigger this year." Like every single year.
Yeah.
Like this year there's a whole new row to the right of vendor booths that there never was before, right?
Yeah, and I imagine that'll be built out more over the summer too, as more vendors contact me. We'll see. I mean, at some point it gets a little unwieldy, but it's just not going to end up being the size of a Chautauqua. But there's farmers markets on the west side where they have upwards of 100 vendors, which gets pretty crazy. And I can't imagine we'd ever get to that point. But never say never. And fast forward 50 years, and they got the north-south freeway, and hopefully it's not bypassing Chewelah, and
I hope not.
We'll be like a wall drug.
Right?
I just recently went to Wall Drug. That's quite the experience.
Never been.
I can guarantee you that no one on the west side is going to appropriate enough money to do a 4-lane highway all the way to Canada. They've been talking about it for 20 years, and they keep skipping us. So the chances of them bypassing Chewelah, I'll believe it when I see the money.
Go the other way. Put it through Newport.
Yeah.
Because I did the math one time, that big construction project when they built the bridges, and before the last one with the new highway going into Spokane with the new freeway cut across. Before they built that, there was a project years before that where they did the bridges, and it was like a $770 million project. They made 4 miles of highway.
Wow.
If you take that math and you used the same companies that built the little cement city outside of Spokane, it would take them, and it took 3 years to do this, and I'm giving them 4 miles because it was 2 miles in each direction, 4 lanes. So they made 4 miles of highway, and it took them 3 years. It would take them, if they hire the same company, it'll take them 167 years to make it to Canada. I think we're safe.
I do think we could use some more passing lanes on this highway
Yes.
in Spokane.
Yeah.
More passing lanes and more pull-offs.
Before we get too far off course, I just wanted to say, the growth of it is a testament all the way along to people and managers that put their hearts into the farmers market. And I know that's changed over the past few years. I know you've been a market manager for a few years now, Brad, and so it's a big hats off to you, to your board, and all your volunteers that help you out with that. So congratulations to all of you for making it the best farmers market in the state.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Scott, thank you so much. This is my 4th year managing the market, and it's just more of a joy each year, it seems, because I've been coming up here since I was basically in utero. We've had a place out at Waits Lake there for about 120 years now. And but as far as really being in the community, Chewelah was always a place we'd pop down for groceries and catch some of the local color. But having actually moved to this area in retirement and managing this market, it's been a real stepping stone into all sorts of things, including sitting here and being able to chat with you guys. And it's been a wonderful experience, and the market has allowed me that way to kind of integrate into the larger Chewelah community, and it's been wonderful, and it really feels like home. I go, down even more so I think than Spokane Valley where I grew up, which I'm down there a lot, but up here that there's just something more wild and wonderful about it. Having had a career in Seattle. Even going to Spokane kind of drives me crazy, and Chuck talked about the passing lanes. I'll sound like the old man I am, but yeah, the traffic has just. I mean, there's a rush hour. You try to avoid the rush hour on 395, and it's just a lineup, and it's almost silly to pass. I mean, if there's 20 cars in front of you, even those passing lanes. I mean, there's a few of them that last for a while where you can, punch it up to 80 and try to get around some folks.
But how far did you really get? You're going to make it to Chewelah like maybe 1 minute before they
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Gain yourself 100 yards or something, and it's kind of silly to put yourself and everyone else at risk when you're doing that. So. Yeah.
Bullet trains. That's what I say. Bullet trains.
That would be good.
You know what I would love? Even just apparently they used to have them, like just a slow passenger train. Have it run. Have like 2 trains run back. I couldn't imagine the expense involved in that, but I would love to take a slow train ride to Spokane.
My grandparents did that. In fact, back in the day, my grandparents they'd hitch up the horses. It was a 2-day trip up here from Spokane. You'd stop in Deer Park. They got that little park there called Pioneer Park. They got a creek going through it, and that's where folks would camp out there overnight, and then the next day get up and hitch your horses back up and ride on up to this area, to Valley and Chewelah area.
I worked for a year on a passenger train in Alaska, and aside from this job here, that was the coolest job I've ever had.
Chuck, you've done everything. Yes.
For you, Chuck.
Hail to the king, baby.
There you go.
I think the weirdest job I've ever had is once I was a paid professional dodgeball referee.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Dodge, dunk, dip, and dodge.
Dive,
right.
or dodge. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Yeah,
That's right.
Yep.
All right, we're going to let you wrap this up, Brad Schaffer, by reminding us about the summer events. I know you guys, do the pie eating contest, the regatta. When are those happening this year?
Oh, darn it. I thought you'd ask me that.
You mentioned something about a cherry splat?
Yeah, cherry, I can tell you that date. That's June 30th. So that's our annual 4th of July celebration, Friday, June 30th. Of course, every Friday in the park from 11 to 3:30. We have speeches and the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, and we have some great music. Cynthia's going to be down there with some of her piano students playing all day. Then we And then, the cherry splat where we got a slingshot. You put a cherry in it and aim at a target from a certain distance, depending on your age group. And then we got whoever gets the closest to the bullseye who wins some pretty great prizes that we pick out from amongst our crafters and produce folks. And then we have the next that comes up is the zucchini boat race, and that's in early August, I believe, not late July, early August. And we have a little shipyard where kids come in for a few hours beforehand. We provide, we encourage you to bring your zucchinis from home, but we provide some if you don't have some, and you build a zucchini boat of any type and design that you want, and then we set up a starting line and finish line in Chewelah Creek, and they race their boats, and again, some great prizes for folks in that. And then we have the apple pie eating contest that comes up in September when the apples start coming in, and that's always a lot of kind of semi-gross fun. You can't use your hands, of course, just one piece, and you kind of dip down, and whoever licks their plate off first is the winner. And then the pumpkin bowling on the very last day, October 13th. I know that date, October 13th, where you roll the roundest pumpkin you can find at some pins, and whoever knocks down the most pins then gets the prize. So those are always a hoot. It brings in the kids and the adults, because adults are more than welcome. The cherry splat, we usually get quite a few adults, and the apple pie eating contest, we get quite a few adults. With the boats and the pumpkin bowling, usually it's more of the kids, but a lot of great kids activities. We're going to have the Colonel booth back, and that'll be a lot of fun. Some great music coming up in late July. The public radio station out of Spokane is going to have a booth. They were there once last year, and they're bringing a bluegrass band with them. So we'll have a 4-piece bluegrass band in late July. Is that the 28th? I forget. Whatever Friday that is, one of the last in July. So fun stuff. Come on down. Yeah, we're waiting for you. Well, you guys you guys are right here. You guys can bring your bluegrass band down anytime you want. And I hear Chuck's got quite a voice. Weren't you a professional singer once also?
No.
That was Scott, right?
Oh, yeah, Scott.
No, it's Chuck.
You can do it!
No, I won't do that anymore. Sorry.
All right, Brad. If someone wants to get involved in the market or maybe volunteer to help out with the market, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Probably I'd say to go through the website. You can send, if you go to ChewelahFarmersMarket.com, you will see my contact information. My name's up there, my phone number, and then there's an email, info@ChewelahFarmersMarket.com. And yeah, if you want to vend, there's a vendor tab. You can find the application and all the rules and regs and information. No imports, no garage sale. It's all handmade locally by the artisans that you see sitting in the booths, or grown by the farmers you see sitting there. And then as far as volunteers, we've had some great volunteers over the years, and unfortunately some kids graduated from high school and have gone on to college, and so we are down on volunteers. And so anyone who has some hours in the morning on a Friday, or around 3:30 or 4, where they can help break down, we'd be more than happy to welcome you to the farmers market, and I might buy you lunch now and then. So
yeah.
And
of course, volunteers across the board for nonprofits around Chewelah. Nobody can state how much they appreciate the volunteers for any organization.
This, I think, in some ways, this town would collapse without our volunteers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. It's volunteers that really run so much that goes on around here, and I hope people appreciate that. I know I certainly appreciate all the volunteers, and I love working shoulder to shoulder with them. So,
and I think sometimes volunteers don't feel as appreciated as they truly are, and I think as organizations we really need to focus on really making our volunteers feel as appreciated as they truly are.
Right.
Because sometimes we get busy doing things, and in the chaos of the day, we forget to just really reach out and thank them and let them know how valuable they are.
Yeah.
So.
We all need a pat on the back sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anything we missed, Brad? It's your last chance.
I'd just like to plug you guys and what great work you do for the community. And I hope all the listeners out there understand what a gem we have with Northern Lights Radio to have our own nonprofit, community-based radio station right here in Chewelah is extremely special. You don't see this very often. Traveling down to Missouri and coming back, I went through a lot of little towns that had some boarded up downtowns and some that were vibrant, some that weren't, and I was trying to make a checklist of what was working, seemed to be working for them, and what didn't. And Chewelah, I think, has got a pretty good roadmap going here, and we got a really good thing going. The town is so thoroughly enjoyable that I can't plug it enough.
Right. I'd kind of like to build on what Brad was just saying about the radio station. And Scott, I can't even state how grateful I am for this opportunity, and to build on what you've created here is just I'm overwhelmed by it. It's such an amazing thing, and I really appreciate all the support and everything. So.
And you're awesome, Chuck. I'm happy you're there. I couldn't have left it in better hands. So, you surprise me every day with the stuff that you're coming up with and the stuff that you're already doing. And I don't think people sometimes realize how tough it is to maintain a nonprofit, especially one that has a lot of infrastructure to it that people don't realize, just in computers and equipment and dealing with the government and the record companies. It goes on. And I think the general public just, it's that thing I hear, or that thing I turn on, or the thing I watch now and then, or they have that one show at night. I love the blues show, or I love the jazz show. I don't think they realize the massive undertaking that it takes, but Chuck is learning it.
I'm learning more every day, and I can tell that if I'm here 20 years, I will still not learn it all, but I will do my best.
All right, and thank you, Brad, for shifting it back to the radio station.
Well, Scott, I understand you've been in radio since 1970. I saw some old machine out there in the lobby that you used to work on.
So that's I didn't start in 1970. I started in '86. But the first radio station I worked at, that was the board I used. So it's kind of a fun little bit of nostalgia, and to think now it's all digital. You get into the fancy radio stations in Spokane, you run everything with one finger. It's not.
I was in the station of Spokane Public Radio last week, talking with the station manager there, and their DJ booth look like a set from Star Trek. They are absolutely insane. Everything is lit up. Everything is digital. All their boards are all computer. Like their boards themselves are computers. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, big thank you to our market manager, Mr. Brad Schaffer. You're also a board member, aren't you, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the board too, which takes another extra bit of work and planning and directing and all that kind of stuff. So, to everybody at Farmers Market, thank you. Thank you being here today. And as we wrap up the show, Brad, would you play a game?
Absolutely. I love playing games.
Oh, batten down the hatches then.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Yeah, Brad Schaffer and Chuck Ritchie today.
Don't ask you
battle of the
questions. I have them answered immediately.
I didn't tell you what kind of game it would be or how difficult or how fun it could be, but that's right. We're going to do a little trivia with Brad and Chuck. Chuck has a reputation for being really good at this, Brad, so it's really a chance to take him down a notch.
I'm intimidated already.
I don't know how good I am at these.
All right, first question. These can produce up to 30 gallons of sweat each year. What is it?
My father.
A human being, a Homo sapien.
Okay, and you're halfway there. What part of the human being?
The foot.
The foot is correct. There you go. Good job, Brad. Even though Chuck kind of gave you an assist.
I was going to say the armpit, but that'd be the obvious one.
Yeah, which one stinks more?
The foot is actually the sweatiest part of the body.
Yeah.
True story.
All right. All right. So what was discovered in the U.S. for the first time in 1856? Discovered in the U.S. for the very first time in 1856. They found more since then.
Dinosaur bones?
Wow, Chuck, there you go. Dinosaur bones.
I took a class in college.
I don't have a chance here.
Actually, I was a paleontology major in college. But yeah.
All right. Let's see. For both of you, this could be a tough one. What do the following actors all have in common? Josh Brolin, Martin Sheen, Harrison Ford, Michael Douglas, and Robin Williams.
They all married the same woman?
Oh! You don't lose your woman, you lose your turn.
Wow. Oh, all right. Josh Brolin, Martin Sheen, Harrison Ford, Michael Douglas, Robin Williams. What do they all have in common? Here's your hint. They have all played the same type of character. Not trying to give too much away.
Is it something to do with
They've all had the same role.
What's the story of
Batman?
the kid that flies that never grows old? Neverland. Oh my goodness, what is
Peter
wrong?
Pan?
Peter Pan.
Yeah.
No. None of them have ever been in Peter Pan, and none of them. I can't remember what Brad just said, but none of them have played Batman. That's what it was.
Actually, Robin Williams did
Right.
play Peter Pan.
Yeah.
They have all played blank.
Women.
Mobster?
No. Much bigger than a mobster.
Oh,
Gods.
the president.
There you go, the president. Brad
Oh,
sneaks
there you
in.
go. There you go.
Robin
Right,
Williams,
so they've all played
Michael
the president.
J.
Let's see.
Fox.
Josh Brolin as George W. Bush in the movie W. Martin
Okay.
Sheen as Josiah Jed Bartlett in The West Wing. Harrison Ford as James Marshall in Air Force One. Michael Douglas as Andrew Shepard in The American President. And Robin Williams as, can you guys remember what he played, which president he played?
Was it animated?
No, but it was a family movie.
Harry Truman?
No, he was riding the horse
Yes,
in the museum.
Night at the Museum. Yes.
Right.
Teddy
He played
Roosevelt. There you go.
Yes.
Night at the Museum.
Okay.
So they all played presidents. That was like one of the better trivia questions I think we've had
That
in a
was.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got
And
it.
we got
And you
job.
got it.
It's all about me.
Look at Brad go. All right, another trivia question. It's believed that the first one of these on an airplane happened on October 11th, 1919. What was it?
Air sickness.
Somebody had to use the restroom.
No, sir. Good one, though.
Plane crash. Oh, a meal was served.
A meal was served, exactly right.
Nice. Wow.
Look at Brad stealing the
I
crown from
know.
Chuck.
Good.
All right, U.S. has just over 31,000 of these. For comparison, India has 152,000.
ICBM missiles?
Not even a hesitation there.
No. And unfortunately, I think he's wrong. 31,000 of these in the U.S., 152,000 in India. You kind of... some people go to them every day, but most of us begrudgingly have to go because of the weight.
The weight. I was going to say
A gym.
Truck scales?
No.
A curry takeout.
And I don't mean weight isn't heavy. It's the waiting in line.
Oh, DMV.
Oh.
You're a warmer, Chuck, but that's not it. 31,000 offices of these in the U.S. and 152,000 offices of these in India.
The post office.
Yes, there you go,
okay.
Chuck.
Wow.
How he said it, like it's going to be wrong, but post office.
Well, we were going through everything. Eventually, we'd get it right.
All right, Brad, what's in common with these three words? What do they share in common? Hard, clay, grass.
Hard clay grass. They're all a part of my front yard.
Probably true. It has to do with a sport.
Oh, tennis. It's the,
There you go.
the surfaces you play tennis on.
All right, Chuck, Consumer Reports, People, Reader's Digest.
Magazines.
That was too easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
All right, Brad, checks, stamps, bad TV shows.
That's a tough one.
Checks, stamps, and bad TV shows. They're all things that
are licked. No.
I just pictured Brad licking his TV.
You haven't seen me late at night, so.
What happens to a bad TV show?
It gets taken off the air.
All things that get canceled.
Yep.
All right. Surprise, search, slumber.
Surprise, search, and slumber.
Chuck.
They all begin with S.
A
chance for you to steal it there, Brad. Surprise, search,
that was Brad's
slumber.
answer I gave.
We should give Chuck another chance.
No.
Surprise, search, and surrender.
Slumber.
Surprise, search, slumber.
I can hear people shouting the answer.
Right?
You're a little girl. You have all your friends over.
Oh,
parties.
Yeah, you guys lose though.
Parties. Yeah.
Last chance to redeem yourself now after that, Brad. Hugh Jackman, Robert Downey Jr., and Ben Affleck.
They've all played superheroes?
There you go.
There you go. Nice.
Look at that. And as the winner for today, Mr. Brad Schaefer, you get this.
Who dares enter the sacred and awesome presence of the everlasting know-it-all?
You know me well.
Well, thank you for coming in today, Brad. That was great. That was a good show.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks again for having me, and I'll look forward to coming back at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, Brad Schaefer from the Chihuahua Farmers Market. Big round of applause for him. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, or actually, let's start with tonight, right here on the radio. You've got 3 hours of soul music. We let the soul show after Jeff Newman passed away. We let it go quiet for a few months in honor of him, but we found another really good soul show. So in honor of Jeff, check out that soul show tonight between 6 and 9 right here. And then tomorrow morning, it's me and Chuck to take you into the weekend. Right, Mr. Ritchie?
Yeah, exactly. Just the two of us.
All right.
Also
special. Happening tonight, the first Thursday Art Walk. And what's happening at the radio station, Chuck?
We are doing kids' storybook karaoke poetry slam.
All right, and that's for adults.
It's
you can bring your kids and have
adults
them
all
do it,
ages.
too.
It's a lot of fun. It'll be wild. I'm hoping we get enough people to stand up there and do it. And don't be afraid. It's supposed to be goofy and silly.
It'll be wild.
Yeah.
And if you're out and about, what a great chance to stop by and check out the station and the theater and our very cool theater seats. So,
yeah.
There you go. All right. Other than that, we want you to have a great day, and we want you to keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. We are KCHW 102.7. Everybody say goodbye.
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 Goodbye,
This
everybody.
concludes the broadcast from World Control.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at Godfearing